Let's Rock.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Awesome. How are things going?
Good, man. I'm actually right now in South Florida, so things are going pretty good.
What are you doing in Florida?
Vacation.
Oh, vacation. Oh, okay. I thought it was
And then we got two shows. We got two shows next weekend.
In Florida?
Yeah, North Florida, in Gainesville area.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's more kind of jamming with some old friends and doing some tunes and doing some covers and stuff like that. It's not really anything necessarily career advancing, but just fun, man. Fun with some friends.
Darn right. That's the way to do it. So the new album.
Yeah. It's all about all or nothing now.
All or nothing for sure. It's getting some good reviews.
Yeah. We felt really good about it when we started writing the record, to be honest with you. It's our fourth, so you obviously feel the difference between every one.
Right.
And you're always excited about new material. There's no question. You always, are excited to see the reaction, how everybody's going to be. But, this one, I don't know, when we went in and we started kind of putting the riffs together and everything, and we started jamming the songs, it just felt different, but in the best way possible. So we're just happy that our feeling, is coming through in the reviews.
Yeah, for sure. And, I haven't heard the whole album yet, but what I have heard is just straight up balls to the wall rock and roll.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Talk about your style, your band's style, and where it came from, and how it's changed since album number one.
Well, I mean, our style, I guess it's always, I think, through influence, right? I think who influences you when you pick up an instrument and you start getting interested in rock and roll, and you start getting interested in writing a song. To start there, I guess, the covers you played when you learned your instrument and you started a cover band and all the songs you chose. I have to believe that it has to have an influence on what comes out when you write your first song. But finding a sound over time, for us anyway, was all through hard work and learning how to do it and learning how to play your instrument. Because through record 1 to record 4, I mean, tone, performance on the record, it all become, you become more picky, you become more, dialed into whether or not it's a good take, where the first record you just can't believe you're recording and you're so excited about actually expressing yourself on tape.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But the fourth record, I mean, plus also with all the travels and life, lived, there's so much more experience to talk about. And, I think you just learn how to do it. I think it's like anything else. I don't think it differs from anything else in life. I think you just learn how to do it and get better at it with every album, with every tour, with every show.
Right on. So who were some of those influences on album one?
Oh, God. I mean, I picked up a guitar because of Jimmy Page.
Who didn't?
Yeah. My brother-in-law, actually, I give him credit because he thought, I was listening to too much Michael Jackson. Nothing against Michael Jackson because he's still a bomb, but he just thought that I was going too much in one musical direction. So he sat me down and made me listen to The Song Remains the Same and changed my life. I couldn't believe it. I was just blown away by the guitar and the improvisation and just how dialed in this guy was, how he was one with his instrument. I was like, well, I got to do that. And I got to get a guitar like that. And that's pretty much where it started.
Right.
Guns N' Roses, Stevie Ray Vaughan, for me, took over from there. Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora more than Bon Jovi, but our singer, Motley Crue, was a huge influence on him. He liked the limos and the chicks and all that stuff, and he hasn't changed much. He's still that guy. So
nice. That's old style music, though. I mean, you hear a lot of bands. Greta Van Fleet comes to mind when they're kind of just sounding exactly like their heroes. So I guess it is kind of tough to just get past the covers and get into your own sound.
Well, I think you got to be true to yourself. The one thing that bothers me about Greta Van Fleet is that they actually are trying to deny that the Led Zeppelin are their heroes and try to deny that they sound anything like them. When on YouTube, you can find a video of them doing a Led Zeppelin tribute. So I really don't know what their end game is with that, but we just be true to yourself and be real. If ever at that particular point in time you're listening to a lot of Creed, and you got Creed riffs coming out, just say it. I've been listening to a lot of Creed lately.
Well, yeah,
there's no shame in it, you know.
No, exactly. Okay, so let's go back to before the first album. The name One. Where did that come from?
Well, we obviously were searching for a band name, and we decided we got some originals together. We realized we needed a band name, so we wanted something original, something that meant something, not something that was going to be. Because I mean, in early 2000s, we weren't really thinking about being web friendly or being able to be discovered on YouTube, right? We were just wanted a cool band name that we could put out there, and it would represent us well. And we're sitting around a table one day in a bar, and I said, we're four guys that are now one. You know, we're one. And Danny, our singer, he goes, there it is, that's it. He goes, that's it. He goes, that's the name. We're one. He goes, call it One. I was like, yep. And it was as simple as that.
So there wasn't that much thought put into it. It just kind of
it's about brotherhood, right? It's about being, you know, look, we've replaced members. And it's like a hockey team. It's like a staff in an office or whatever. I've never treated the band any different than that, you know. So everybody that's been a part of the band has definitely brought something to the table that has carried us further along, you know, the line of time. But when you move on, you know, you have to have that brotherhood with your new members, with your team around you, you know, the people that tour with you. You know, our publicist, our radio tracker. I mean, they're all part of the team. They're all part of the family. So it's all about that. It's all about brotherhood. It's all about, you know, being well surrounded and treating everybody with respect and making sure everybody eats. And, you know, it's just about being one, being a unit. Because without being a unit, you know, you can't really move forward with any sort of strength. That's what I think, anyway. That's how we do things.
Oh, that's awesome. I was reading in your band press release that you guys mentioned that you love life on the road. But what are some of the cooler places you've visited on your tours?
Well, we've done the entire United States, like, I don't know how many times. So we've seen everything that the U.S. has to offer. But there's always a soft spot for the places that opened their doors to us first, you know, and kind of kept us going and got us paid and just shown us what life on the road could offer if we continue to hammer away and find those little treasures. So there's a couple spots in North Florida that still, where we're going now, actually, we always return to make sure that they can reap the benefits of you know, the path that we sent them. Right. So North Florida is definitely a spot. Northern California was also, it still is, a mainstay of ours. Some other really great people that just kind of opened their doors and their homes to us and got us paid and fed in the beginning. And it's, I don't know, it just kind of remained and still remains today. They become like extended family, you know.
Sure.
Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania. But I mean, we've seen everything. We played for the USO. We've done the Whiskey A Go-Go and headlined that. I mean, we've done quite a few things, but I have to say the whole people aspect of it, you know, the fact that these people have had such an impact on our careers without them even knowing, because it's just by them being them that they did that for us. But, you know, maybe the timing was there. I don't know, but there's some really special people that we've met along the way that have become family, extended family. And I would have to say that the most special places we've played would have to be playing for those people.
That's awesome. It's kind of like Rush in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Rush was basically discovered in Cleveland in the States. So they start all their tours in Cleveland, and they never forgot. Exactly. Yeah. That's interesting. What are the plans for the tour on this album?
Right now, we're doing these two shows. We started a little acoustic thing that we've been doing lately, which has been pretty cool. We've never really done that before, but it's gone over really well. Right now, we're just marketing the record. We have a new single ready to drop in the new year. So we're actually going through tours now and office now, but I can't really tell you. I know that Europe is in the mix.
Oh, nice. Have you been there before?
We have not. It's gonna be our first time over the pond, and we're We're actually going to do it this October, but we got an offer that was interesting, so we kind of like picked it up and extended it to the new year. We figured we'd better with more planning, more marketing, and so forth. So,
sure.
But yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to it. I don't know exactly how early, but we're going to let the new single do some work and get out there and go from there to see what's happening and see what the landscape is and kind of just make the right decisions moving forward.
Sweet. And talk a bit about Am I Beautiful? Very interesting video.
Yeah. We all kind of have our thing in the band when it comes to like, creativity and ideas. And the singer, Danny's always had a real knack for video. He's always had a real knack for having ideas and video treatment. And he's never been really happy with some of the videos that were directed by somebody else. Even though it was his idea, they kind of just, put a damper on it. So lately, in the last few years, we've kind of just let him go and work. We all work with people and we work with directors, but when it comes to the treatments and the ideas, he comes up with some pretty good ones. So the whole song started with a riff, and we put the song together, and Danny was having a really hard time finding inspiration. So he was surrounded at the time with a bunch of kind of fake people. Nowadays everybody's plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of got this inspiration and got this vision where, these people are not really happy. These people are not really happy. They're trying so hard to be happy through surgeries and through cosmetics and through fake things that they're constantly asking themselves, am I beautiful, right? And the video is just a reflection of that. I don't know, Jen Littleton, who is our industry professional, let's call her that.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't like any other title. She is a marketing genius, and she used to be the senior marketing director and head A&R for Interscope, Geffen A&M. So she flew into Montreal and worked on the video with us. So the two of them together with also a video team, they put something really simple but really powerful together with regards to what the video means, and we're really happy with that. A lot of people have been telling us that it's really powerful. It's a really powerful message and really simple visual.
Well, yeah, that's what I noticed was that it, when it first started, it didn't even seem like a video until, you saw you guys playing. But that's what I loved about it, is the fact that it is so simple, but so, so important, especially in today's life.
Yeah, it really is, and it's hard sometimes to get your thoughts and you only have 4 minutes, right? So to get it all like figured out and make sure that people understand what you're trying to say visually and make it make sense, it's not always easy, but that's where the post comes in. And the guy who worked with Alex, he's a real genius. He actually filmed our record launch. We're going to put out a DVD here soon with the visuals of a record launch. So,
oh, sweet.
We work with some really good people, man, and I think that says a lot about a lot of things. You got to work with good people, and you got to stick with them and treat them right, and make sure you stay on the same path.
For sure. And it's also nice that you're actually making videos, because it's kind of a dying art. Most people just do performance videos now, so it is kind of nice to see a bit of a story involved, like it was back in the day when I used to watch videos all the time.
I don't know if you saw the story about that guy that went and did the European tour. It was all fake there.
I did see that. Yeah.
As I don't want to say dumb, because it's not dumb, but as counterproductive as that is, he found a different way to market himself. I just don't think it was smart. We've never been a band that's gone with the grain. We've always gone against it. Last night, I was on a little road trip coming back from Tampa and had some time to listen to a bunch of songs. I listened to Bring Me the Horizon, listened to Sublime, Papa Roach, all kinds of different bands. And, all the bands today sound the same. That doesn't mean they're not great in their own right, because they are. They're all great. And even some undiscovered talent that I was listening to is just, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
But they all sound the same.
Yeah.
you're going to hear a single on the radio, and you're not going to know if it's a new band or not. So we've always kind of stuck with our sound and what we believe in, you know. And we're like more of a classic band with a modern feel, with modern riffs and modern approach. But I don't know. We've never really gone in anybody else's direction, and we've taken some hits on the chin for it. Believe me.
I get a lot of these newer bands coming out that I get to interview and listen to, and the ones that I really dig are the ones who do have that kind of classic sound, but their own style. You know, there's a few. Like I don't know if you know. That's a car alarm going off.
Yeah, I'm not even near it, so I have no idea what's happening.
You know, bands like, I don't know if you know Boba Flex or Shallow Side. Like, they're kind of that classic sound with their own twist on it. And I think that's kind of
Boba Flex has been around for quite some time, right?
No, they've been around for like 8 or 9 albums, but I guess they're still considered a new band.
They are,
compared to what most people are listening to. I mean, most people are still going to see McCartney, Metallica, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, kudos to you for doing that, because it does sound really cool. Okay, a couple questions here before I let you go. This is for the gearheads out there. What are you playing? What's your rig?
Always been a Marshall guy. Always been a Gibson Marshall guy until we got a little sponsorship with ESP. I like ESPs a lot. I like the way they sound. They sound a little different, but I like them very much. Takamine guitars, acoustics. But I've always been a Gibson Marshall guy. You know, and people always come to me, oh, wow, what's that sound? You know, what are you using? What do you got? What kind of effects you got? I just got a wire, man. That's all I got. I just got a guitar jack. I don't have anything else. So I don't
that's
really
kind
know.
That's kind of the Jimmy Page Slash style, right?
Yeah, straight through. I mean, over the years you pick up a chorus pedal and, you know, a little delay for solos here and there, like, you know, kind of beef it up. But aside from that, I use a wah once in a while, but I actually use a wah on quite a few of my solos, but I don't really do too much other stuff. I know on the records there's a little bit, you know, here and there of, you know, a little effect here and there in the studio when the producer's mixing the record, but I try to keep it real simple. Try to recreate on the record live as close as possible, so people like can really get that album experience live. I think people love hearing that. I think people love hearing. I know that Metallica went back to playing the songs like they are on the record. For a long time, Metallica seemed to get bored and seemed to not give a shit, you know, in the 2000s, and they just seemed to like kind of wing things. And now they've gone back to playing the songs crisp and clean and the way they're played on the record. And I just find it such a much better show.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so I try to do that as much as possible.
Nice. Okay, now I also read on your press release, or it might have been on the website, that obviously you're from Montreal, which means, of course, you have to be a hockey fan. And it said that your dream was to always be a pro hockey player. What held you back?
Honestly, to be totally honest, I just don't think I was good enough. I don't think I was good enough. I think that I was better than most of the people I played with most of the time. But I think at the end of the day, it wasn't really my calling. I don't think I was good enough. I think I needed that 10% extra. Maybe it was drive. Maybe it was mentality. I don't know. But I don't think I was good enough, man. I really don't. I don't think I had the extra 10% of bump to get me over the humps.
Gotcha. Okay, a couple rapid fire questions here.
Yep.
First gig. Do you remember your first gig you ever played?
My first gig ever was in high school at a talent show. We did Live and Let Die and Knock on Heaven's Door, by Guns N' Roses.
And how did it go?
I think as good as it could possibly go for a bunch of dudes in high school that didn't really know what they were doing.
Okay.
It was fun though.
Well, yeah. Terrifying, but fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Best guitar solo you've ever heard? Hard question.
You know what? No, the guitar solo that struck me the most was a guitar solo by Slash at their Paris show, he did an extended solo on Double Talk and Jive. And for some reason, that solo struck me and struck a vein with me, and I watched it I don't know how many times. I was so impressed by just his improvisation and how on point he was and how crisp it was and how tight the band was with him. I don't know. That one always did something to me.
Best image in a rock star ever.
Oh, wow.
And how important is image in rock and roll today?
I want to say that right now I'd have to say that my hero right now would be James Hetfield. And the reason it's James Hetfield is because of everything they've gone through, everything he's been through, the performer, the monster performer that he has become over the years, and his continuous drive to be better, to be on point, to be perfect. He keeps himself in good shape. Everything is so important to him. And I think that he's a model because let's be honest, the guy's worth $500 million. Does he really have to care that much? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. That's the same car, by the way. He doesn't, but he does. He cares. He gives a shit. He loves what he does. And if all artists, all bands were that driven, that disciplined, and that dialed into career and what it means to fans, I think that there'd be way more bands out there developing and having some more success. And is image important? Yeah, especially in a social media era. I think everything you say is dissected. I think everything you do is dissected. So yeah, I think image is very important. I think you can turn people on and turn people off very quickly. So you have to be very careful and very, aware of your surroundings, your audience, and what comes out of your mouth.
It's changed a lot. I mean, I did an interview with KK Downing not too long ago, and I mean, if those guys had come out now, dressed in their skin tight leathers and studs, people would probably laugh them off the stage.
Yeah, it's changed so much, but at the same time, if that's what they wanted to do, that's what they should do.
Right.
I don't think we should. I think we need to adapt. I always say adapt or die. I think we need to adapt business-wise, but I don't think we should adapt belief-wise. I think that the minute you start changing your beliefs and your belief system because of social media or because of what somebody said, I think it's the first step to failure. So I think if those guys wanted to come out in studded leather today, I think people would respect the fact that they're doing what they want to do. Look at Steel Panther.
True. That's a great band.
Yeah, man. They just don't give a shit. And you know what? How can you not respect a bunch of guys that goes out and does what they want and what they believe in and sell it really well?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Kudos to them, man. Kudos. Hats off.
Darn right. They're a hoot. I love those guys. One last question, and this is, I don't want to get you in trouble for this, but what have you learned about the music business since you started recording and touring? Is it as nasty as people say it is?
I actually just got asked to write a blog for Pure Grain Audio, and I write for the Portal magazine as well, out of Calgary. I'll tell you what I answered Pure Grain Audio was I'll write the blog, but I'm telling you right now that all of the subjects are going to be controversial, and they're like, okay, so I'm not really afraid of that question. And I don't think there's any trouble to get into. Everybody knows the truth. I think that if the powers that be had have woke up years ago, I don't think we'd be in the situation we're in. I will tell you this. The business model of the music business hasn't adapted, which is why it's dying. Years ago, you had these big guys with cigars sitting in leather chairs and sitting back and listening to demos, but you know what? They never claimed to know everything, or they know and I know and I know. They were just like, hey, let's throw it at the wall and see what happens. Mm-hmm. Put a little music, put a little market, put a little money behind it, get them out on a little tour, and let's see. If they have it, they have it. If they don't, they don't, and they move on. Nowadays, you have too few people deciding for too many. and they have the I know mentality. And it's just it's a failing business model. And there's, the people that are sitting in those chairs are still making the money and cutting everywhere else to make sure that they make that money. So what I've learned is definitely it's a survival of the fittest business. I think the bands that look at the business like a band like a business will survive. But it's hard. Oh, man, is it ever hard? It's especially now with all the way everything's set up, and with radio tracking and publicity. These publicists have all gotten used to making these big dollars because these labels, radio trackers alike. Now independents and independent labels have to hire them, and they do adjust their prices, but they're so used to living that way. Why would they stop?
Right.
So it's tough, man. It's a very tough marketplace, but I think you just have to carve out a niche for yourself, make some good relationships, and when you make good relationships with people, you got to make sure you massage them and make sure that they're happy, and you're happy with them, and be open, be transparent, and tell it like it is. If it's not working, it's not working. So the single isn't working, like, don't continue to throw money at it. Don't continue to try to drive it down people's throat. Move on. Write something else.
That's interesting. Are we ever going to see another, arena rock band that's come out in the last couple of years? Like, is that going to happen? Like the old Van Halen story, release an album and within a month they're kicking everybody's ass and then they're starting to headline after one album. I mean, is that ever going to happen again?
I'll tell you what, if it's all about money, right? If I was to go out right now and find an investor that's willing to put $2 million behind our band, I could work us into that position pretty easily. Would we stay there? I don't know. That depends on us, right? That depends on how we deliver the shows and whatnot. But
right.
It's all about money now. It's all about what you can buy, tour ops you can buy onto, how much publicity you can buy, what kind of image you could give off on social media. If you can make yourself look like you're living large and getting on private jets and stuff like that. I mean, that's what everybody wants, so they buy into it. So yeah, I think it's possible. I don't know. I mean, bands need money now. I'm writing the blog about music development and how there is none. So it's hard now. It's tough because you need that money. You need those millions in order to make that kind of an impact. And
right.
Record companies don't want to put it into bands, and bands just don't have it. So it's tough. I mean, and I think there's talent out there, man. I got to be honest. I think there's tons of talented people out there. It's just nobody wants to really take the steps necessary to get good at something. They just want to have it tonight or tomorrow, and if they don't get it, they walk away from it. And that's probably why record companies will not invest in anybody anymore.
Yeah, and it also, to me, seems like there's too many of them. I mean, if you go to YouTube, you can find 10,000 bands.
Too much noise.
And it's just, too much. Who do you pick? Who do you listen to? Yeah, it's a tough gig you're in, but the new album, from what I've heard, is fantastic, and it's going to get you going places.
Well, appreciate it.
I don't want to end on a negative. That's kind of sad, the whole music industry. So let's just end it like this. Best of luck. Get your asses up here to Ottawa and play a show somewhere. And,
sounds good. I've been working on it, so it'll happen. We've always had a lot of fun in Ottawa. It's right in our backyard. It's an easy in and out, and it's always a good time. I have a lot of family out there too. So.
Oh, sweet. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. Get back to the sun and the beach and all that stuff.
Appreciate so much you doing this for bands, man. Nowadays, it's so necessary and it helps so much, and we never lose appreciation for people that put in their time to promote our work and our music, and it will always be appreciated.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. I love hearing about new bands, and I love getting the name out there. So
appreciate it, man. Have a great day, buddy.
You too. Take care.